Good morning. Next news. My dad was gay, but married to my mom for 64 years. As she died, I overheard something I can't forget. HuffPost. Had I been wrong about my dad? This man I knew to be so wonderful and caring and loving, not only to my mom and my siblings and me, but seemingly to everyone he knew? Below are your comments. They had 4 children and stayed together so long accepting each other. Love comes in the most unique ways and is different experience for each one of us, but to be able to stay together requires acceptance, sharing, forgiving, and tolerance. Of course, generosity in everything. I am sure he loved high. See more. A sad and beautiful love story. I am glad the author has had the time to reflect on it and share it with us. I am afraid her parents' story is far from unique for that time. People married, and still do, for so many reasons, and love will always be a luxury. Definitions of what love and happiness are aren't finite. The author's father and mother loved each other, period. And their love story is beautiful. Please wait a moment. What a beautiful story and life. Love is love no matter what form it takes. You are extremely blessed to have 2 loving parents. It doesn't matter what the world thinks. You have those precious memories and moments with your parents. There is nothing better in life than. Every person is unique, so any relationship between, or among, people must also be unique. There is no one on this earth or above it who is qualified to judge a one-of-a-kind experience. Beckhow. Say there is nothing with which to compare it. Your parents had the relationship they had and they were happy with it. Those who judge are obviously unhappy with their lives or they wouldn't have the time or inclination to judge others. That was a beautiful story. To have that kind of loving relationship despite how unconventional it may have been, very rare. Ed. A fine example of love and life. As I grow older I find life is never just this or that but many different combinations that seem to work. The true test is time. If it's real it'll last. Superficial never makes it very long. Mom's first husband was bi. They had a son together, and a few years later, her husband left so he could date men. He was a good dad to my brother. He eventually married an awful woman, but that's not the point. He and my mom were dear friends years after the divorce. They even talked about being roommates in their senior years. They loved each other, just not romantically. They're both gone now, and I hope they're happy, together or not. Thank you for sharing this. It was a different time. No one can judge. It sounds as though your parents adored each other and their children. An amazing story. Considering what all these people had to go through. Especially considering the era that they were living in. That is why my motto is, you be you. I read this story the first time it was published last year. I have thought of it often over the last year. I think it's one of the most beautiful love stories I have ever read and shows that love isn't real. Why as black and white as society has led us to believe. Thank you sharing your story. Life throws us all kinds of struggles. In those days there were probably a lot of men living like T.S. I knew a couple, they were very happy and had 3 beautiful children. Life is so complicated. I cannot speak to how this man felt being married to a woman for so long and being gay. What I can speak to is being married several decades to a woman who I love and admire and to my children, and how wonderful it has been to be there with them from the moment of conception to growing inside my wife and helping with their births and then all of amazing things. You marry, and then you have children and you become a family. And you cannot know how amazing it is to having and being a family is to a parent unless you have vet it. It seems that is much of what the author is saying in her offering. That her dad, who may have been unconventional in the activities he engaged in with his children, he, nonetheless, taught them so much, and gave them the greatest gifts a father can give, his Tim. And love. Quite a well-written story. I gained a little greater insight through her telling of it. You had some really great parents who loved each other and who loved their children. Nothing can take that away from them or your memories either. That's all that really matters. That was a very moving story. I came out when I was 20, a sop bleeper at a conservative college, and I was out. I can't imagine being in a closet. It just never crossed my mind, and I grew up in the Bible Belt. I eventually moved to New York right after I graduated, and it's where I still live. I know I'm lucky to have been able to go it that way. It was sheer luck that got me to NYC. I knew I had an opportunity and I took it. Deep down, I knew I could never be happy living in the South and that for someone like me, it might even be dangerous, as I am a fairly outspoken guy with no tolerance for bigotry of any kind. Coming out ASAP is the best way to go if you're gay. After that first step, you will find that everything else just falls into place, one way or the other. Marriage is a very complex thing. Anyone who has been married a long time knows this. Each couple has to define it for themselves. Happiness looks different for everyone. This does not surprise me, and I'm sure there were and are a lot more couples like this than anyone realizes. Red Heart, a beautiful story of unconditional love and acceptance. Red Heart. This story is so beautifully written. Love is more complicated than any definition we place on it. True love is the rarest form of all. Best friends for life is exactly what they were. Their amazing friendship laid the foundation for their lifelong commitment. May they both rest in peace. Red Heart Dove. In the United States alone there are about 300 million people. I'm sure there are countless stories of unique or unusual situations. As long as you are not harming anyone, particularly innocent children, conduct your life as you see fit and be well. What a beautiful story, and more common than you may think. True love can be complicated, but if it is for real, nothing can break it. I don't think the author's parents' relationship was that uncommon way back then. You had to hide in the closet diligently, or else. What is uncommon, I feel, is the actual love they had between them. I could only wish more humans had love in their hearts and not pure hatred. My dad was gay, but married to my mom for 64 years. As she died, I overheard something I can't forget. Be proud in the way you honor your parents. They deserve it. And I bet they are as proud as they can be in you. What a beautiful story. People see love as black and white when, in reality, it's full of colors. Love is about acceptance, and I congratulate this couple. Thanks for sharing their love story. Mom and dad loved each other. Unconventional, but loved just the same. He was a real man of honor who served his country and raised his family. If he had affairs, they were kept from the children. His wife was crushed to find out he was gay, but they stayed together and she helped with Dad's LGBTQ and AIDS Foundation work. These parents were very special humans indeed. Per Laura's story, the family didn't experience abuse from either parent. That is a gift in itself. I'm glad she has found her footing and will stand up for her father. Many Opal have unconventional family stories, and many aren't this positive. You have written well of your parents. A wonderful story to read. They were in love. And that's what mattered. And you're the better for it. Please subscribe to my channel. And if you like it, please thumbs up.